My name's Paz. This is 8 Count Sport. UFC 320 just went down, so let's get into it. I just want to preference this by saying these are my thoughts, feelings, opinions on these fights. If that doesn't link up with you, that's fine. Tell me in the comments. Fight number 1, Joe Pyfer in the purple trunks taking on a Magomedov. The crowd was so pumped, which always makes the fights way more fun. Like, the boos coming out for Magomedov were crazy. I mean, as they always are when you've got someone who's from the US taking on someone who's not from the US. Doesn't really matter where they're from, they are going to get booed out of there. The first round was actually a lot of fun. I think everyone was expecting Joe Pyfer to come in and absolutely dominate, which didn't happen at all. Magomedov got the first round with some very clean wrestling and clean submission attempts. Not to worry those US fans, we saw Joe come in with a massive 2 big right hands, which absolutely dropped Magomedov. And then we saw them kind of wrestling on the ground for a little bit. You can definitely tell Joe has been studying the BJJ school of how to disrupt wrestlers, right? So he was on his back a little bit. And you could definitely see this in the first round as well. He was trying to work off his back and get the submission from the back. But once he lost that triangle, we saw him then scramble, transition, and then lock in the rear naked choke. Round number 2, Joe Pyfer takes the win. Round 2 submission, it was a good fight for me. It was a 4 out of 5 star fight. So I will be ranking each individual fight. Now, I haven't really worked out how my ranking system is going to work just yet. So please, if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments, because I want to get an accurate star rating for the individual fights and the card, mostly out of 5 stars. So, fight number 2, we saw Josh Emmett taking on Youssef Zalal. Now, there is really not much to say about this fight in terms of breaking it down or analytics or anything like that. Josh Emmett pushed forward. Youssef used his feet really well to stay clear of any power that Josh Emmett might have. We see Zalal go for the level change and then cement the takedown on Josh Emmett. Now, while they're on the floor, you can see that Zalal's trying to lock in that triangle. After Zalal loses that triangle choke, we see him slip into the armbar, a hyperextension on the elbow. Josh Emmett with the verbal tap at 1 minute 38 seconds. For me, like, this is the thing. I should give this a higher star rating, but the thing is, it didn't speak to me. It didn't speak to me like how fights later on the card did. For me, there was just something missing, so I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Fight number 3, Yuri Prohaska taking on Khalil Roundtree. People are loving this fight. People thought this was a fantastic fight. I thought it looked really sloppy. I think we saw amazing technique from Khalil, but in terms of how Yuri was fighting, it was off balance, it was sloppy, and yes, Yuri's very unorthodox, super unorthodox if you will, but he looked sloppy in this rather than unorthodox. We've seen him in fights prior where he looks unorthodox and you're like, wow, like, how do you even prepare for that? But this was just sloppy. I have seen people saying, yeah, fight of the year contender. I personally don't think it's a fight of the year contender at all. It was just chaotic in not a good way for me. Now, this gave me the biggest pop of the night. No, it didn't. It gave me the second biggest pop of the night. I had Roundtree up 2-0. He looked a lot slicker. He was landing crispier punches. And Yuri, I don't know if he was looking off balance because he just was looking off balance, if there was something wrong with his eardrum, like what was going on. But he looked like he was like Bambi on ice throughout the first 2 rounds. Roundtree seemed to be placing really good shots and he looked really good. Then in the third, things went downhill for Roundtree. Yuri decided to switch on all of a sudden. They had a really good back and forth in that third round, but then Yuri Prohaska comes in with a big left hook, I believe it was. The left-right good night situation. I'm not 100% sure of what the combination was, but it was something along those lines. And you saw Roundtree out cold. Yuri gets the win. I don't think he was a better fighter in this fight, but he did get the win. I'll take a number 1 contendership between Olberg and Yuri. I'd take that. I think that would be a lot of fun. But also, if you did want to have Olberg go straight in and fight Pereira for the next fight, I would take that as well. Whoops, I'm already giving spoilers towards the end. Anyway, if you're watching this, I'm sure you've already watched the UFC. You already know what's going to happen. I don't know what to rate this. When they say everyone's in with a puncher's chance, this is what they mean. Yuri was down 2 rounds. In my opinion, on my scorecard, Yuri was down 2 rounds, and then he went in swinging, and with the puncher's chance, he won. I know it's organized chaos. Like, I know that's what it is, but there was something very off about how he was fighting tonight comparative to how we've seen him in previous. So chaos was fun. There was a finish. The vibes, I just don't know. Would I watch the fight again? Yes, I would watch the fight again. I would watch the fight again, but I don't think it holds too much structural integrity of like a good fight. But was it chaotic? We're going to give it a 4. It was a 4 out of 5. I'm not sure how I'm going to rate these, so if you've got any ideas, please let me know. For the co-main, sorry guys, I've actually got so many notes written down here because that fight felt like it went forever. Now, the first round was, they were on the feet, they were moving really well. Sandhagen looked really good. He was using his reach and he was using his long limbs to stuff the takedowns, which is what you've got to do with a guy like Merab because he's just so on top of you. He's got such good cardio, it's absolutely insane. Now, did I love the fight though? Round number 2 was by far the best round. Merab almost knocked out Corey Sandhagen, who had never been knocked out in the UFC before, which is absolutely a crazy feat in and of itself. And then he just jumped on him and manhandled him for the whole second round. There is arguments that it could have been stopped in the second round, which I think would have been fun, but then I also do think it would have been a fight that would have been stopped too soon, and I think Corey Sandhagen would have had something to say there if they had stopped the fight, but I could see an argument for that fight being stopped in round 2. Rounds 3 and 4 were honestly a bit of a snooze fest for me. I'd lost a lot of interest by that point in this fight. It was a lot of Merab taking Sandhagen down, holding him on the ground, or holding him somewhere. Round number 5, because it was a little bit more back and forth and it wasn't just pick him up, dump him down, he gets back up, pick him up, dump him down, he gets back up, pick him up, dump him down, he gets back up. There was 18 takedowns and I believe it was in the 20s of takedown attempts. For me, I like takedowns and taking someone to the mat if you are actively trying to submit them, hurt them with the ground and pound, knock them out, finish them on the ground. I love that about, dumping your opponent on the floor. When you are just dumping them to have them get back up, dumping them to get them back up, just like continuously, it's not for my taste. But rounds 1, 2, 5, excellent. Rounds 3 and 4 bored me to tears. In saying that, I think Sandhagen had a really good fight, and I think that's probably the person that's looked the best against Merab. I don't see anyone taking this title off him. Anyway, who do you think Merab should go up against next? Because I can't actually pick anyone that should go up against him that isn't already booked for a fight in December like he wants. Would I watch the fight again? No. Was there a finish? No. Vibes of the fight. I got really bored in between the 3rd and 4th round, but I do also think if it was a 3-rounder, it would have been one of my favorite fights on the card. Unfortunately, it wasn't. It was a 5-rounder. I'm going to give it my 2 different scores are for the skill level of it and just overall vibes and if I liked the fight. For overall vibes and me just liking the fight, I'm going to give it a 3.2. I really liked 3 of the rounds, but those 2 rounds I didn't like. I really, really disliked them. So I can't score it high. The whole round vibe of it, the whole fight, I was bored in those 2 rounds. I didn't love it. 3.2. In terms of the skill level between both Merab and Sandhagen, 4.5. 4.5. Now, the vibes of the card are just, it's my personal taste. It's my personal preference. It doesn't do it for me. I'm sure there are people that absolutely loved the vibe of this. Wasn't for me. Call me a casual. I don't really care. It wasn't for me. So vibes, 3.2. Skill level, 4.5. Charmer. It's time. Bruce Buffer does that so much better than me. But with done, Alex Pereira taking on Ankalaev, and wow, Seemed like Ankalaev didn't show up today at all. Alex Pereira comes in and it is just forward pressure. Backs Ankalaev onto the cage and just hits him with that boom, big left hand. I believe it was left hand, or was it a right hand? It was one of the hands that must have had cement blocks in them, because he threw it. I think it was the left, because then Ankalaev shot. Okay, so let's call it was the left hand, rocked him, dropped him. So out of instinct, Ankalaev shot. Alex stuffed the takedown, jumped on top of him. Those 12-6 elbows. After 1 minute and 25 seconds of the very first round, you have your new light heavyweight champion of the world, Alex Boaton Pereira. I think it was very well deserved. For that performance, I give it a 5 out of 5. It hits all of the things that I need. Vibes, knockouts, aggression, everything. Maybe I'm biased because I really didn't like the previous fight and I liked that bit of oomph. But that forward pressure, aggression, that big knockout punch, getting it done super early, that was a 5 out of 5 for me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching my first ever YouTube video. If you're into this type of thing, like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of UFC 320, and I'll see you for the next one.